500 get into the wild card.
86 got the Phillies all the way to the World
I
Series.
hate to break it to you, man. I don't think it was your vision.
This podcast is perfectly named, I would say.
I hate to make excuses for Sandy and the rest of the
No, you don't. You've been doing it all year.
I do hate it. I'm just gonna say it.
Fucking hitting bombs to fucking Cayocho. Like,
Inject that into my veins.
If that continues, there's no way we make the playoffs.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 28 of the Battered Marlins Fans podcast, emergency podcast. This was not planned. Kind of just felt like we needed to jump on and talk about what's going on because things got a little out of hand today. How are you doing, Brenton?
Listen, I was doing all right. I was real excited. My postseason hat came just in time for the World Series coming up.
There you go.
So I was stoked. I got it. I was getting ready to open it up. And then I see Craig Mish's tweet, and my day went to shit.
Yeah, like many other Marlins fans. What's going on, Spaz? How you doing, sir?
kind of similar to Branson. I ruined my victory Monday. You know, the Dolphins did well yesterday. We came back, an excellent win, and couldn't even enjoy I don't even think I finished my coffee, and I see Mish's tweet, and I'm like, what the fuck?
How late do you wake up, Spaz? I want to live like you.
Not that late, but
I think I was eating lunch when that happened.
that's
All right. So for those listening on audio, because we do have we probably have a larger audio audience than we do on YouTube. Spaz, let everybody know what it is that you're rocking right now.
So I wear this jersey when things are not going well for my baseball team. And everyone knows this is the Loria jersey, the Loria logo. And I think Branton pulled out his Marlins man Loria logo, orange jersey. So
I was wearing my beautiful Battered Marlins t-shirt. Visit batteredfans.com to get it. And then I saw Spaz and I said, you know what? This is the equivalent of having to flip that flag upside down because shit just went down.
Exactly.
We're in trouble.
That's how I feel. I feel like Loria era shit. And like there's some people that are not defending Loria, but like that
Most
somehow
people defend Loria. I'm sorry. You said
yeah. Not like defending, but almost saying like, well, this was going to happen anyways, or something similar was going to happen anyway. We're just a stepping stone for other jobs. And like,
I know who you're talking about, and it took every ounce of restraint to not go after him.
But it was like
He's an idiot.
More than that person. But like, there's people that have that opinion, and it just sucks that we finally, literally crawling, we made it into the postseason, and fine, that's all we wanted. We wanted to make it to the postseason. And then like, dude, we end up looking like asses in front of the league. And again, because we just can't even enjoy like a full off season of like, hey, we made this and that. No, they're like, by the way, Kim Ng, after they did everything, when she came on board, it was like all these posts and all this shit, breaking the glass ceiling. And like, we were all very excited about all this. And who knows what happened. But like, I feel like they probably, and the whole bringing in somebody else that was going to be above her and she was going to be number 2. That's fucked, so.
Well, I think that's ultimately what did it. What did her in, right? That's why she was. I would be offended, right, after the job she did.
Yeah.
Brighton, the news was she was offered to come back for that last year, so she wasn't given an extension, and she told, guess what? You're going to have a new boss also. Yeah. What did you think when you heard the details of why things didn't work out?
So at first, when I was trying to figure out what happened, somebody said that they offered her an extension and she denied it. And I was like, okay, well, she must have something lined up. But then as the Athletic article came out and said that we had picked up her option and she declined it, I said, what the fuck are we doing picking up her option? We should have, after she killed the trade deadline, there should have been at least a 3-year extension on her desk saying, hey, you want to sign this? Like, let's do it. If you don't want to, I think, like, okay, I don't know that she's ready to be president of baseball operations yet. Maybe. I think she could do it. She had a very high position with Major League Baseball and made a lot of changes to how the league works altogether. Like, she's been a leader. And in my mind, if you want to keep her, you just say, hey, you want to be the president of baseball operations? Promote your GM to that position. Let her bring someone in as a GM that's in her tree that she's developed, And that's how successful organizations continue success. And so we are all feeling like this is a great step in the right direction. Sustained success is coming our way, and we fuck it up.
Well, yeah, because the odd thing is that she was basically calling her own shots, right? There was no president of operations. So
Right.
I've heard some people say maybe she wasn't ready for that position. But why not? She was basically like, I'm sure that there's more to that position is responsible for, right? But for the most part, she's doing the biggest part, which is the player side, right? Making those decisions on the field, the transactions, the signing, extending, all that other stuff. Like, I don't understand how you could possibly call her in and be like, by the way, things are going to get a little shaken up, and we're going to get somebody to hire. We're going to hire somebody to be over you that you're going to have to report to, kind of like she was doing with Jeter. But it caught me completely off guard because I thought she had done a good enough job to, one, earn an extension, and two, if not an extension, move her up the position if you're trying to fill that role. I thought they were going to be good without that role. I thought they were going to keep riding it out with just the GM. But if you're going to fill that role, like you said, how do you not move her into that spot? And the thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Bratton, but the only thing I could think about when this was going down was what you guys told me all year long. It's like dumb shit. Just like, we can't get out of our own way. Yeah. And I was like, man, be more positive. And we made the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. This was a successful season. But like, it's really hard to put a damper on a successful season. But let's Marlins it, right? Let's go Marlins. Let's see. We let go of Kim-Ing. Sandy Alcantara's out for 2024. Didn't Jazz just have surgery?
Yeah, but he'll be back for spring training.
He'll be back fine, but yeah, he did have surgery.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, man. Like we make the playoffs, get swept, and then let's just keep rolling. Like, hold my beer. Let's make this look a little worse. Like, it's really frustrating, man. Like, I wasn't expecting this to happen just a week after, but it did put a damper on what overall was a good season.
Yeah, and I mean, like last week I was on with Peter Pratt on his podcast, and I think I even said on there,
was it Locked On Marlins, right?
Locked On Marlins.
Yeah, Locked On Marlins, and I told
you're listening to us, you're probably listening to him, but just in case.
Yeah, and if you're not, you should be
for sure.
But so I think I even told him, I said, I expect like next week or the week after for her extension to be announced, like before the World Series. I was expecting. Lock her up and like let's have a good plan and let's go into this offseason fully ready. And now instead of Bruce just doing the right thing, and if you're not going to make her the president, if he would have given her a sizable raise and said, listen, I don't think you're ready for the president's job, but I want you here for 3 more years and here's a raise, she probably would have taken that because she's in a good spot. And then she's got a chance to prove herself that she can sustain success. Because I don't know, the reason I don't buy into the stepping stone move, and I don't think she really wanted to go, is because we made the playoffs for 1 season. That does not show a track record of success as a GM, in my opinion. So, when I first heard she had an extension or something.
20 years before then, though.
Yeah, but so, and I get that point too, right? So she made a perennial loser make the playoffs. And I'm not taking anything away from Kim because I'm pissed she's leaving. I want her to stay.
Right.
But when you look at it as a business standpoint, like 1 season does not show a track record of success. So, maybe a bigger team comes calling and I think she'll do well wherever she goes. But I don't think that if you're using this job as a stepping stone, 1 season where you barely squeak into the playoffs is not showing that, you're ready for a bigger club, in my opinion.
I do want to get into that, but go ahead, Spaz.
Yeah, also, I think she just did this with like putting pieces together that should not have been together, and we made it work. So which was just like super impressive on her end.
Yeah.
But also, it all goes back. I mentioned this when we first started this podcast. There's that video of Bruce, fucking Sherman, whatever his name is, Sherman. And he's literally saying, we have the money, we're going to open up the wallet. Clearly, that's not what happened with Jeter. Clearly, that's not what's happening with Kim. Because he still wants us to be broke boys and not spend money. And I think that's the problem that keeps happening. That we just run into that. We don't want to spend money.
Two questions real quick. This one for Spaz. Spaz, do you think hiring her was a promo move?
To a certain extent, I feel like it, which she had. Her resume is, dude. Her resume is
100%. If she was a man, she would have gotten a job as a GM a lot sooner.
100%.
Well,
absolutely.
and if she hadn't stayed with MLB so long, like I'm sure she had offers to come out of there, and she talked about her time with MLB, and she really enjoyed it, and she thought that was like her career path for a while, and she was also, I think, the youngest assistant GM in history, man or woman or woman.
I mean, she had a few things that, like, she was like the first of, or like one of the first of. I mean, she super impressive shit that she's done.
I asked because Spaz earlier brought up the fact that they were promoting it, like breaking the ceiling and all stuff. So, like, sometimes the Marlins might find themselves trying to get fans and attention because they don't get much. So I'm just wondering if you guys thought that maybe that was a promo. Whether it was or not, it wasn't. Even if it was in the Marlins' face, she had earned it, right? Yeah, she had earned it, and she obviously did a good job with it. So I'm glad that she did what she did, and that she's kind of shown that she belongs. I was just kind of curious what you guys thought about that. And then the other thing I wanted to ask, and I'll start with Brandon on this one. Everybody suffers from recency bias. That's just kind of what we do. So we had a decent season. We made the playoffs. So everybody's like extender. But if you really sit back and think about the 2 years that she had nobody over her, just her 2 years, do you think that she earned that extension, or just by barely sneaking into the playoffs, it makes sense that the owner said, show it to me one more year and then you'll get your extension?
So, yeah, I mean, so from a business standpoint, like if it were me, I would say, like I kind of just said, like, I don't know that she's shown that she can sustain success, but I think what you've seen this year is there's enough indications that she's building for not just this year, not just to make this year's playoffs, but building for the future by getting controllable assets like Berger.
Jake Berger's the one that she did that for, though.
On Weathers, you will probably see him be the fifth starter come the spring, or at least
Bell
be in the conversation for it.
Bell and Robertson were win now moves.
Yeah, Robertson was 100% like she knew something wasn't right with Puck, and we have to get some sort of closing option. And to be fair, Robertson was probably the best closing option that was on the market. That was coming at for a decent price, right? Yeah. I also think that I think Bell, seeing the success he's had here, and he's been pretty happy. I don't see any reason why he doesn't come back.
I agree.
And bringing in a Rise, like trading from a position of strength, going out and getting a guy who just won a batting championship to just come here and do it again. Like those moves, like for the last year, have been like stepping stones, and I felt like every year she kind of was building and adding a couple pieces that she knew would be here for a while. And, as much as we'd all say like, oh yeah, we would have liked her to swing for the fences, I think she was building to something, and she's not going to get to see it through now.
I mean, we always thought that we needed a catcher. That was never addressed. Yeah. Shortstop we needed. Jazz wasn't hers. Sandy wasn't hers. She got Segura playing third. Avisail Garcia is garbage. And she brought in Johnny Cueto for some reason. So, I mean, she had her missteps also. Yeah. I'm a fan. I wanted her to get extended, but I try to take a step back and I'm like, maybe I'm looking at it through biased eyes, recency bias. Maybe she did need to earn that extension a little further.
But at the time that those players came in, there was like nobody left. Like I clearly remember, I forgot who we were going for, and was it Anderson? I freaking forgot who it was, but like there was nobody on the table, and we got those players, and we're like, okay, I guess. Like, I mean, Cueto had
oh yeah, that was
like,
when we missed out from the third baseman from the Nats.
Yeah.
We were trying to get him, and then we went with Berger,
something like that. But there's been a few of those missteps have been just because there's nobody there. Like I remember one, it was the trade deadline or like the winter meetings or whatever, and she just couldn't get anything done. Like there was everybody had made their moves.
if it's the trade deadline, I get it. But if it's the winter meetings, everybody's still on the table at that point. Like it's free agency just started. You can't if you're left with nobody, it's because you did. And then again, I understand that being a GM for the Marlins, you're at a disadvantage. I understand financially. But like I said, I
offer you all the Goya you can eat.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm just wondering if maybe we should think about it, and maybe she did need to earn it one more year.
And so
personally, I don't think so. I think she deserved the extension.
Yeah.
But like I said, devil's advocate.
But I think to your point too, we also kind of have to wait and see what's going to happen. Like, what's Bruce going to do, right? Like, is he going to go out and get somebody? Like, if he goes out and hires a president of baseball operations who's never had that position before, and then goes out and hires like a rookie GM because he doesn't want to spend the money on like a serious front office, then I think that just shows you that he's not serious about winning. But if he goes out and he gets people that like have some sort of track record, like he's not going to go out and get the big names. Like I think it was Spazzy in our group thing that said Theo was coming or something. He might like the South Florida weather, but I don't see that happening. But there's GMs that have been successful in small mid markets and that he could bring in. And if he goes for somebody with experience that's a serious baseball person, I think maybe he was like, all right, well, I like my chances of hiring somebody else. But the Marlins job is not the same job it was before either. Kim's made it somewhat attractive. There's a lot of great pieces here. There's less holes than I think we've ever had going into an off season. So there's no reason why we can't attract somebody better, but I think you're always better seeing out somebody's plan who's had years to put it in place than you are like hitting the reset button, because we could hire somebody who says, I don't fucking like Skip, and Skip's out of here.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because Skip is a Kim hire, and
this is a great hire.
Yeah, it was 100%, but like that gets dicey. Kim, maybe Kim was giving him, they worked well together, whatever, and whoever, it gets dicey around that part. Like, what happens there?
Well, and I know we're gonna wrap this up soon because it was just a quick reaction pod, but I did want to piggyback off of what Bratton and Spaz just said. If we get somebody new, head of operations, and they look at this roster and they say, you know what? This isn't my vision. This isn't what I want. And they decide, I'm going to tear this down and start over.
Don't say it.
How do you
Danny, this is one of the words you can't say. Do not say the FS word.
No. You can't do that. And
I agree because I feel like you got not a huge following, but I think the Marlins fans started coming back. They started coming back this year. They're like, we're building something. Please don't tear it up. Every year that they've made the playoffs, like a legit playoffs, like not the 2020, like a legit playoffs. I mean, they won the World Series every time, but the following year, they never made the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Like they've never followed it up the following year. So I would hate to see this fall apart next year, and I would hate to see somebody come and not even give it a chance. So what are the chances of that? That's what I'm putting out there, because you guys are a lot more diehard Marlins than I am. So,
I mean, this roster isn't what I want to see either, but you can't tear it all down. Like you will. It will. I mean, people just started coming back. Like they just started. People this season would call me and say, "Hey, I haven't been to a game. You haven't been to a game in however many years. Let's go to a game." They're just coming back now, man, and you cannot do that. And I don't even think we don't have the resources to like start from the bottom. We have our farm is like.
No, you would be trading off Jazz and stuff like that, and you start over.
Yeah,
Yuri.
No. There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
I'm joking. I just wanted to get Brian's reaction. All right. Well,
I'll survive. I'll just
give it up.
Yep.
All right, Spaz. Any final thoughts on the Cummings today?
No, man. I mean, day ruined. Day ruined for everybody. and kind of just wait and see what happens. They set out that little Instagram post that was like, rest assured that we're doing our best to find a new hire and we're gonna get the best one. And I mean, those words don't mean shit to me, but wait and see what happens, man. I don't have another baseball team, so this is my baseball team.
That's it.
Yep. Listen, let's see how it all pans out and how it shakes out. Maybe, people who do this for a living know a lot more than we do, and there's a plan in place, and we could end up in a better position than we are now. But regardless, I think all Marlins fans should appreciate what Kim did in her time here and just be thankful she was here, and the changes she made both on and off the field were massive. And let's hope for the best, but nobody on Twitter better ever say the FS word. We're not clearing house. It's not happening. If you say it, I'm coming after you.
He's coming after you, everybody.
What was the last time that Marlins fans could legit look at the following season, like the next season, and be like, we should make the playoffs?
For me, it was before our last fire sale. I looked at that roster with Josh Johnson and God, I don't even want to say all the names, Reyes, and I was like, one more year in these guys, we're gonna add like 2 pieces and we're gonna be great. And we got rid of everybody.
and that's where we're born. We're 2 to 3 pieces away. We've been 2 to 3 pieces away for 20 years.
I mean, to be fair, it's been more than 2 to 3 pieces. It just, you know what? And we hadn't recorded since before they got swept by the Phillies. Yeah. That Sandy news really, really sucked.
Yeah.
Knowing that you won't have him until 2025, oh man, that's brutal. But hopefully Yuri steps up.
We're forcing him to throw 500 innings.
Yeah, I mean, you got that surgically repaired elbow. You should be able to handle it. All right. We will be coming back next week, Thursday on the 26th. We should have Callie on here. It's a black tie affair. We're gonna have a Marlins award show. Kind of go over the season as a whole, give out some awards, best of, all that other worst of, all that other good stuff. Just a fun time. So please join us for that next Thursday on the 26th. But if you are listening now on audio and you listen all the way to the end, thank you as always. Please leave 5 stars, review, all that other good stuff. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like and subscribe. And as always, until the next one, have a good one.